Who is your real-life superhero? When a man robbed me of my innocence through violence, my father became relentless in his search for him. He compiled a list of local offenders and asked me to identify the man if I ever saw him. One day, I did. The sight of him sent me into a panic attack. My breath quickened and my throat tightened. Seeing my distress, my father swore that no man would ever endure the suffering he was about to inflict on this one. The list had the man's address, and before I could fully process it, my father was already driving off with a toolbox in hand. For 3 days, the man endured torment at my father's hands. But then, things took a dark turn. Tied to a chair, the man began mocking my father, graphically recounting what he had done to me and threatening to do it again. My father snapped, and in a moment of uncontrollable rage, he ended the man's life, a step he hadn't intended to take. He called me afterward, his voice heavy with regret. He said his life was over because of what he had done, but he couldn't stop there. Determined to use his remaining freedom to rid the world of more monsters, he turned to the list again. He identified the worst offenders and began a grim mission. One by one, he knocked on their doors and ended their lives with the pull of a trigger. Within days, 7 men in the area were dead. Eventually, the law caught up with him. My father was sentenced to multiple life terms, and the news barely covered the story, fearing it might inspire others to condone his actions.